The last time I saw her, she smiled like nothing had ever gone wrong, the same way she used to, when she wanted me to trust her. "I'll be back soon," she said, tossing me her keys as she left for the weekend, excitement flickering in her eyes. I nodded, words stuck in my throat. I wanted to ask why a pit had formed in my stomach, why a shiver ran down my spine at her casual tone. But I stayed silent. I watched her drive away, a red blur fading down the street. The house felt too quiet, too empty without her. I told myself it was nothing, that she deserved a break, that paranoia was pointless. But deep down, I knew the unease wouldn't leave me. By Saturday evening, the uneasy feeling had grown into a cold, nagging worry. I called her. Her phone went straight to voicemail. I called again. Nothing. Finally, I texted, "Hope you're having a good time. Can't wait to see you." Hours later, her reply came, "All good here. See you soon. Love you." The words felt hollow, brittle, as though borrowed for convenience rather than meaning. I tried to distract myself, cleaning the house, fixing the leaky faucet, even reorganizing the garage. But my mind kept returning to her smile, to the way she said she'd be back soon. Something about it didn't sit right. 10 years together, 7 married, and yet, in that moment, I realized I barely knew the woman behind the face I thought I'd known. Sunday night, I noticed a perfume she always wore when she wanted to be irresistible. Only she wasn't home. The scent wasn't faint. It clung to the curtains, the cushions. My chest tightened. I checked my phone again. No messages, no calls. I began pacing the living room, replaying every interaction from the past month. The subtle hints, the little lies, the sudden defensiveness over simple questions. My mind raced, unwilling to accept it, yet unable to ignore it. By midnight, sleep had abandoned me. I found myself reaching for something I had promised I'd never need, her phone, left charging on a nightstand. I hesitated. This wasn't me, but desperation pushed me forward. Her messages told a story I wished I could unsee. Flirty, intimate, private jokes that weren't meant for me. Photos exchanged. Plans made. Plans she had conveniently left out of our life together. My stomach churned. The truth hit me like a blow. The woman I had trusted with my heart was sleeping with someone else. I wanted to scream, to throw the phone, to cry, but the tears wouldn't come. The room spun, walls closing in with betrayal, so sharp it felt physical. Then I remember her words from that morning. "I'll be back soon." She hadn't meant to reassure me. She meant exactly what she said. She was leaving, but would return only when her desire for someone else had been satisfied. I tried to convince myself I had misread things, that there was an innocent explanation, but the messages didn't lie. The timing, the words, the secrecy, it was deliberate. She had planned this. Monday morning, I waited for her. I rehearsed every confrontation, every shout, every cry, every demand for answers. But when she walked through the door, suitcase in hand, smiling tiredly as if she'd been on some harmless trip, none of it came out. "Hey," she said, dropping her bag. "I missed you." I looked at her. Really looked. The person in front of me wasn't the woman I married. Or maybe she was, but only the parts I'd never known. My voice was calm, colder than I expected. "There's nothing left waiting for you here." Her eyes widened. What do you mean?" I gestured around the living room, at the silence thick with betrayal. "You're back, but too late. The trust is gone. The love, the loyalty, everything we had. There's nothing left for you." Her lips parted to speak, but I cut her off. I had rehearsed this for months. After sleepless nights of agonizing over every detail, I didn't want words. I wanted finality. The text, I said simply, watching her face blanch. All of them. Photos, plans, lies. I knew before you walked in that door what you'd done. And somehow, I wasn't surprised. She sank onto the couch, hands shaking. "I can explain," she whispered. "Explain." I laughed, bitter and dry. "Do you think any explanation could fix this? That your excuses could erase months of betrayal? The nights I spent worrying, wondering where you were and who you were with?" Her shoulders slumped, defeated, like a child caught in something she couldn't fix. I realized, in that moment, how much I had loved her and how utterly that love had been taken for granted. "I thought we had something special," she said softly, testing her own words. "We did," I admitted, "but you wanted more than what we had. You wanted someone else. You didn't just leave me. You left everything we built. There's no one doing that." For a long moment, she said nothing. Panic and desperation flickered in her eyes. Yet she didn't cry or beg. She simply stared, realizing the person she had betrayed was no longer waiting. I made a mistake," she finally whispered. "I never meant to hurt you. It just happened." "It didn't just happen," I said, my voice low and steady. "You chose it. You made it happen. Now you have to live with it." Her eyes filled with tears, and I didn't look away. I wanted her to see that my heart was breaking, not in loud drama, but in the quiet devastation of a man who had trusted completely, only to be discarded. I walked to the bedroom, grabbed my suitcase. "I'm leaving," I said. She tried to follow, but I shook my head. "No, not like this. Not while you're still here, pretending everything's normal. I can't do this anymore." I left the house, the key still in her hand, the door closing softly behind me. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. The next weeks blurred together. I stayed in a small hotel, sorting through the wreckage of a life that once seemed perfect. Friends offered support, condolences, but nothing could fill the emptiness left by betrayal. I replayed her smile, trying to reconcile the woman I loved with the one who had lied to me every day. Eventually, I began to rebuild. I found a small apartment, sunlight streaming in every morning. I ran again, letting the rhythm of my feet act as therapy. I immersed myself in work, in writing, in anything that kept my mind off the pain. Months later, I received a message from her. "Can we talk? Miss you. I made a mistake. I want to fix this." I read it once, then deleted it. I didn't need her words. I didn't need her apologies. The man who had trusted her completely had been broken, but he was no longer the same man who would open the door for her smile. I had learned a painful truth. Love doesn't always survive betrayal. Sometimes the strongest act of self-preservation is to walk away, leaving behind everything poisoned. A year later, I passed our old house. Curtains drawn, lights dim. I thought about the life I had left behind, the woman who promised she'd be back soon. Her absence had given me something I hadn't felt in a long time. Peace, I whispered to the empty street, a quiet promise to myself. There was nothing left for her here, and that was exactly how it should be. I kept walking, shoulders lighter, heart learning to beat again. The betrayal had cut deep, yes, but it also taught me this. The only person I could ever rely on completely was myself. And for the first time in years, that was enough.